Welcome back to the channel. My name is Patrick, and in my last video I talked about the importance of learning how to take a loss. I showed you a trade example of what I was currently doing, and in this video I'm going to show you what happened with that trade. However, in this video I'm going to show you how not to take a loss. So if you're not about taking losses and you just want to learn how to trade and have like 100% win rate, this is how you do it. If you find this information useful, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and continue supporting the channel. Let's get busy. So in my last video, I talked about learning how to take losses, and before you get into a trade, asking yourself how much you're willing to lose, right? But that's very easy to say, learn how to take a loss when you are profitable. But when you are not profitable and you're struggling with trading, maybe you don't want to take a loss. You don't want to learn how to take a loss. You're not ready for that. So in this video, I'm going to show you the next best thing. Okay, so this is all about risk management. So I'm going to show you the trade setup I was in last. I'll show you how that played out, and I'll show you how I managed it. Okay, so let's see, it was on Monday. So it was here based on this price action here. Let's just get rid of this. It was based on this current price, well, not current, this price action here, yeah? So price was sitting around, let's zoom out again, I'll show you. Price was up here and it did a reversal, pushed up, and it got into this supply zone that pushed it down. So it got up here. On this price action here, it gave me a breaker structure, which is just there. I'll zoom in so you can see it now. So it pushed up, came down, and broke that structure. So when price came back up here, I sold at this midpoint here. So that was my entry. Roughly there. Okay. So I sold it there. And I was aiming to take TP down about midpoint in this imbalance here, because I wanted the price to go back to fill this imbalance. And also if I was to buy it, I would buy it from here to go back up, because this imbalance will give me a reaction, which is what I normally scalp. So that was my objective for this trade. So it was looking to be a 45 pip move. As you can see, as it played out, it did hit there. However, this was a day after. I wanted this to be a day trade. Now, the reason it didn't get there like I wanted is because there was actually, I did say in the video that there was no news, and there was no big news because there was a bank holiday. It was a US bank holiday or national holiday. Therefore, there was no New York session. There was no volume, and this is the whole of New York session. Absolutely nothing. So the next day, it started pushing down and eventually got there. However, I did not hold it all the way through, and the reason is because I was focused on managing this trade. Okay, so if you want to avoid losing trades at all, you need to learn how to manage it. So I'm going to show you how I manage this trade. So so price was here. I was risking about 9 pips, 10 pips. It was 9.8 pips. I was risking about 9 pips because I had it, my stop loss just above here, just above there, and price started to move in my direction. When it got to here at 1-to-1, I took partials here. I took about 50% of my position here. The reason is because I knew that, you know, every trade you could still be wrong. I knew if I was going to be wrong, it could be from this demand and it could push it up. And as you can see here, it did. So as it got here and slowed down, and I realized there wasn't much volume in that session, I thought, you know what, this could just consolidate all day through chopping me around and so on. So what I wanted was to make this a risk-free trade. So when price did get down to this point here, I took 50% off my position, and then I moved to break even. So I moved my stop loss from here. I moved my stop loss, which was sitting here, and I moved it down to break even in my entry, right? So my stop loss is now sitting at break even. So it came up, it didn't take me out and pushed down again. So now it went down further. It then went into this demand. And again, I know this is going to give us a reaction. So when it got to this point here, I took another 25% of my original position. So I had only now 25% left in the position. I've taken off 75. So that was 2 to 1. So I already made 2 to 1 on the position. I was happy with that. And at this point, I said, if it does come and take me out, do you know what? I've made money, I've made profits, and I'm good. I'm very happy. You know, it didn't matter. And that was all of the price action on that day because of the bank holiday. And price eventually did push up. And as you can see, it just hit my stop loss. It just took me out. So I kind of missed out on this whole move just by like a pip. So learning for this, I probably would have just left my stop loss just above break even. So I lost maybe $10 or something, and I would have stayed in that move and I would have completed the move. So that's something I've learned from there. So if you're trying to avoid taking losses, you need to manage your position. You need to manage the trade. And the reason I moved to break even is because I had made money. Anytime I've made profits, I've taken a certain amount off. I don't want to. I don't want this winning trade, this positive trade, to turn around and become a losing trade and stop me out because it has that potential. When it got to this demand here, as you can see, it had that potential. It came all the way up to my entry, past my entry, and stopped just there before running me out. It could have run me out, but it held in this occasion. Sometimes it will just pop past and take you out. So if you want to avoid taking losses, the best way to do it is to manage your risk. When you are in about 80% or so, when you've taken about 50% off, you can move to break even like I did and let the rest run. And when you're scalping moves, I give scalps a little different. I manage scalps differently. Okay, with these moves, they have not got a high win rate like my scalps, right? Based off imbalances. So that's why I managed this carefully because I wanted it to go down, but I didn't know how long it was going to take. So I kind of trailed the price action, kept that eye on the price action. When I saw it was coming up here, I thought, you know what? It had the potential to push all the way through here because of this demand. I'm not interested in losing money, and I moved it to break even and left it, and I'm good. You cannot go broke by taking money off the table. Very simple. You cannot lose money by taking profits. So that for me was a good trade. I know there's more opportunities and I will get more opportunities because this wasn't fluke. I read it right and I could do it again. So I'd rather take some money here, go on to the next trade, take some more money there and consistently grow rather than having a winning trade go against me and I get emotional and start doing silly things. So that's how I'm trying to avoid emotional trading, by managing my risk. So asking myself, how much am I willing to lose first? Okay, and that's how much I allocate in terms of lot sizes. Okay, boom. Second is to actually manage the trade so you don't take a winning trade into a loss. So that's what I did there, and I'm very happy with that trade. So I didn't make the whole move, so I missed out on this 40 pip move. However, I got this move here, and then, like I said, price was very likely to turn around from this imbalance here. I did take this trade. I took this trade here, this scalp here, and it went to about 20 pips. So, I'm good. So I caught 20 pips there. So in the last 2 days, I've made about 1% on my account because I managed that, and that's my trade setup, and this is another trade setup, and I managed that. My stop loss initially would have been here for this move, so I was risking about 10 pips again. I knew how much money I was willing to lose, and
if this didn't work out, it would have been okay. I was okay with the loss, and it worked out perfectly. And as it was moving into profit, what I did with this one, how I managed this trade here, as it was moving into profit, let's go to M5, you see this trade better. Okay, so I caught it right, I think it was right, I caught it about there, yeah? I caught it about there, or even less actually, can't remember. Let's see, trade history. So I caught it down there. I caught it right down there. My entries, as you can see, are very accurate, and it's based on supply and demand, reading the imbalances 50% roughly or so on, and straight away I got my money from that move. So I caught it right there, and it was a 29 pip move. I scalped it all the way up. When it got to this opposing force, this supply zone, I closed the position because that had the potential to bring it back down, which it did. And also there was news on that day. But the point is, with this video here, is to manage this trade. So when this move started, wait, let me show you my trade history again. So when this got here, I'm looking for 10 pips, yeah? I scalped for 10 pips. When it got to 10, it got to 7 pips here, yeah? I close half of the position, okay? Or some of the position, can't remember. Let's say I close half of the position. And the reason is, at this point here, it should go straight up. If it comes back down towards here, I don't like that trade. I don't want to be involved. So after 50%, I'll say, do you know what, a better margin. After 70% in your direction, it should go to 100. If it doesn't, it's coming down. So what you could do to manage this kind of scalp is 70%, take some partials, then leave the rest to run, and then, okay, you don't get the whole 10 pip move, but you've got 7 pips, and then if you leave a runner, you can actually get the equivalent of 10 pips or more, as I did here. So I left my runner and I got a total of 22 pips, and it ended up being more than 10 pips, and I managed that quite simply, quite smoothly, quite easily. It was stress-free. So that's what I'm focusing on, in trying to reduce the emotions in my trades. And one of the ways to do that is with appropriate risk management. So that's how I managed this scalp. About 70% into the move, I moved my initial stop loss. So my initial stop loss was, hold on. So my initial stop loss was, there under this wick here. So when it moved about 70% into my position, I moved my initial stop loss up to just below where that move started. So if I was going to lose that move, I've already taken partials. If I lost that move, it would have been break even. So that's a way to avoid taking losses at all. You move to the position where if you lose a trade, it's break even. And that way you're always moving forward. So when the trade works, you move forward. When it doesn't work, you break even. And you can slowly grind out wins that way and be consistently profitable. So if you're not trying to take losses, you need to learn how to manage your risk, your risk properly, and manage the move. If you are profitable and you've traded these setups and you're quite comfortable and confident in them, you leave your stop loss. You give your trade room to breathe. You leave it alone and see where it goes. And I could have done that and got my 29 pips. And if I held it a little longer, I could have got 50 pips. So that's the basis of this video, what I wanted to talk about, and that's how you eliminate taking losses, by adequate risk management. So yeah, that's it. That's all I got for you. I hope you appreciated that. If you did, hit the like button. If you want to see how I progress, hit the subscribe button. Continue supporting the channel. This is Patrick signing out. Until next time, peace.